Why, hello there. Let's get this all checked up. I think we're okay. I think you are done. And that is good. Okay. So, I had some thoughts. Yeah, setting connection list here was on our to-dos. Let's get this running. I think. We might be able to do something smarter here. Okay, because in our... Let me just scoot you over here. That's fine. In the room model, currently it builds the connections as connection data, which, I mean, it's okay, but it's not real data. The real data on a room connection is, not a room connection, but a room tile, is just a list of IDs, right? So map editor, or map controller, will eventually need the ability to change the connection objects anyway. And I'm thinking we might be able to build that list here, put it in state instead of into the model where it doesn't really belong. Like it's not hurting anything there, but it just kind of feels dirty. Whereas if we built it as part of state, then maybe Notify Listener will help us out in getting things reset. And then we can drive this based on this, which is where we were kind of going. Before we decided that we needed to bring back just the data pass in because there was an issue. What was the issue? Indexing, knowing what existed there. But if we put the connections here, that kind of fixes that, right? How can we prove this most simply is kind of the question. Does my map controller here you do have a map where we store the connection data, connection table. And that would simplify a lot of this. Which would be totally rad. We just need to... we just need to add a helper, I think. Well, I guess we don't really need... Yeah, let's give it... It's going to return connection data, and it'll be called get connection. We'll get it by the ID. I don't need this here. We'll default to returning null. Oh, but I can't, there. Okay, so if the connection table is not null, and actually we can just return directly here. You can't be null, we just checked you. There. So when we set a selected tile, so here we would need to switch on the type, which is fine. It's room data though. I believe. We already did this in... Where did we do this? Tile data? Yes. Yes. Okay. So, we do that. Then we say for UID value, con ID in select a tile, we'll have to cast you as room data connections. Boop, you get imported. This actually needs to be room data connection IDs. We say up here, we also want to make sure that we clear you. Oh my gosh, I cannot type today. What am I doing? There we go. Like so. Like so. Then we say this. Our controller which, oh, it's a widget dot like so. No? Oh, crap. We don't have the controller in here. We might need to have it though. In fact, we're gonna definitely need it because we're gonna need to make changes to it. So we might as well put it in here. we require a controller. You're not const. Then we have access in here. Get connection. Con ID. If con data isn't null, connections add the data. Like so. Okay. Meow. You get that. So as soon as we select, that should now have that. Okay, so meow. Room model. Not that. Room data form. You're here. We do ever notify listeners. We have state in here. We have an editable copy, but current data. Let's do this. Map state will be this. We can still do that just for convenience of the syntax. And then we should have access down here. Where did you go? Here you are. Like so. Map state has not been initialized. I think we ran into this problem too. But I don't know if I can do this. I can't. And it wouldn't be null either anyway. That's problematic. Can I put this in here where it's kind of supposed to be anyway? I have questions. Null is not a... What? Null is not a subtype of map controller of function results. What have I done wrong here? Is this a hot reload issue? Something didn't get populated when it did a hot reload? No. Current data has not been initialized. And that's in my room data. So this gets triggered before. Can I do this? Okay. Except for we don't know what you are yet. But we could do this, and then we know that we can clone you as a room data. So we're working with a clone data set still, or a cloned object still. Okay. Then in room data form, I don't need to worry about making an editable copy because I'm working with one directly. Reloading will be a little bit more tricky if I do this. That all is still fine. Instead of this, did change, we can override. Was it in its state? I'm pretty sure it's in its state. It is in its state, okay. We can move this back in here. We probably need to... Except for this is going to fire... This will fire before, I think. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm afraid it will fire before we have a chance to populate with the good. State object here. Current data. Reset data will need to look different. Probably have to push that up into the state, which is fine. Current data has not been initialized. I was afraid of that. Okay. So could I put it... Okay, maybe... What the hell were you called? Did change dependencies. Super. Put that back in. Get rid of you. Make sure I'm not crazy. Okay, it's still not it still doesn't get initialized in time to do that. But damn it. I guess I could put this in here. I don't think there's a problem with that. Because when we change bleh, blap, the current data gets changed, which is still a copy at the end of the day, right? Think that might be okay. It's actually up here, but still. Same difference. And then we would need to come over here inside of our state. But we need another we need to track it so that we can say keep track of it, right? So selected tile, and then we should have a selected tile. We should really have another that's like eh. Let's do that. So up here we can say the original selected tile is selected, right? As part of setting this. Then somewhere along the way here, as we're going through, we decide we need to reset it. We can say something like that. And we could actually probably just call set selected tile here, giving it original selected tile, which can't be null. So then in our room data, when we do our reset, hopefully, if I'm not mistaken, apply. Reset data gets called. We don't need that. We can just say map state reset selected tile. Then I can ditch that. So we have data changed. Except for, oh, we need to pick a new selected tile first. Do. And that will reset that. If we do that, and then I do that, life is still good. Okay. We also, though, need to, in our room data, set state, that's false. Okay. That'll go away. Now the connections, we just need to wire them up using the new stuff. And make that go away. And my camera has gone blurry. Let's fix that really quick. Where are you? There you are. Do. There we go. Okay. So. This is using map state connections now. But what I really need is so in here we do this. We do we go through here and we say this is not that. This is the form. Are you going to essentially bypass the rendering engines as well and deliver the game into text areas with buttons or all keyboard shortcuts and commands? This is the editor I'm building. This isn't the actual game. This is so that you can build a map for the game. But yes. Yes is the answer. The client, well, I guess we can't really show you the client without starting the server, and the client is just a text box right now, and it won't be that much more than that. It'll get some other widgets that'll be like a mapper and stuff like that that you can turn on if you want to. Run a pair of text buffers and roll your own rendering. Well, the Flutter UI doesn't work quite like that. But yeah, it'll just be text as like an option for sure. Like you can turn off the map if you want to, essentially is the plan. Oop. Form. And then you. And we're not going to have data here, but we're going to... We're going to do that. Because I'm going to want you to not take data or on change anymore. That, like so. I need to make sure that when we do this, oop. Get out of here for a second. I need to clone this guy. That, like so. That way we don't have all of this crap. We do need... So this can go away for there now. This just becomes get connection forms. Like so. You no longer take data. What you're going to take instead is an index. Oh. Okay. And your index is going to be I. That way everything stays all synchronized up. Yeah, I know you're broken. Just chill. Okay. We're still going to need to do this, but I think we're going to need map state still, though. Yeah. Do I need it to be... Hang on. I don't think this needs to be global like this anymore. We can do that. That's fine. Oh, no, that map state has to be global. That's okay. Let's roll that back. I don't think that needs to be, though. That can all live within the build method. Will you have anything? I don't think so. If we need to, we'll pull it up. And then we need to import all of the things. That was supposed to be a semicolon. That. And then our connection data is the map state connections at widget.index, like so. I also need you to get imported so that I can do that. Now, you live in here. I can probably replace widget.data with just data. Save me a little bit of a headache there. Okay, now let's make sure we relaunch you completely just to make sure everything gets all populated and built the way new stuff needs to be. Map editor. Make it big so it doesn't overflow until I fix that. Okay. Things are still getting, almost populated. We need to move our... Where did my text fields go? I must have lost them somewhere along the way when I deleted this. Oop. Except for this is no longer that. It's all data. Like so. Okay. Now I have this stuff here. Brilliant. Love that. We're going to leave the reset out of here. But this reset should... Whoop. Clicked on the wrong thing. These should both end up getting reset. Okay. We're cooking with gas now. Love that. Let provider do the heavy work. Okay. Can I do a commit here? I think so. Yeah, pretty sure. Oop. Okay, so controller, yes, because we made the change. Editor, yes. Data form, room data form. Yeah, I think we're good, yeah. Those changes make sense. Let's see here. We're going to lift the connection list state up into the change notifier. Okay. So we're going to have some cleanup to do, which is fine. Do I want to tackle that? Yes, I want to do that now before I forget about it. Room model, okay, is no longer going to have connections in it because we've pulled that up into state. Connection IDs, it'll still have. I don't need to do any of that anymore, which is glorious. Update connection. I don't need that in delete. I don't need this anymore. Right? Yes. Yeah. So we still need to check to make sure you don't already contain that. This should be renamed to add connection, because the update is to update the connection object itself now. That's going to break some stuff, which is fine. You basically all of this. I still want to save this. We still use that. And we're going to use this as well. We don't need that. Read and store connections. We put the tile data in there. We still have exceptions that are fatal or not in here. That's good. Offset good. Yeah, this whole thing. Can go away, but I need to do this way so that I get the right level of indentation deletion. Deleting a massive amount of code is good. That's also going to break our tests, which is still totally fine with me. We need... Okay, yeah. This is our loading test. We just need to not expect that anymore. This whole thing goes away. I don't need to go through this anymore. I don't need to go through this anymore. So all of this can go in the trash. Is that sufficient to make this test pass? Let me go collapse my test data here. Okay. Let's run you. Null north connection. Pardon me. Where not that, thank you. This one. Why would you be null? Oh, did I delete too many things? I might have. Hang on. I did. Okay. I'm dumb. This wasn't entirely for just rooms. This does all of them. that should be all we need to actually change for that. Because this populates other types of room or tile connection, other type of map tile. Yeah. Okay. So not quite as much code as I was hoping to delete. That's okay. It has to be there. Our room model tests, on the other hand, are going to be a little bit more broken. But add connection, room model. We just need to eliminate this. And we no longer need to check all of the connections. We just need to say, boop, we expect this one to be the new ID because we're only doing ID now. Same with this. And because we don't have to store that data in the model anymore, we just need to know that our... Wait, I want to make sure I didn't actually accidentally kill... Delete existing connection. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Didn't want to delete a test case for the UUID there. We leave those ones like so. Okay. Modify connection. That makes sense because we no longer do that. So this whole test case actually becomes invalid because this should also be called add connection. Because that's all it does now. Okay. Let's make sure. Yeah, I know you need to be upgraded, Flutter. It's on my to-do list. Okay. Move connections list from room data model. I guess it's just room model. Okay. I'm happy that that gets a little bit simpler. Let's close the test for now. Okay. If I move those down. So we need to do a couple things here. Our tile data, is main still running? It is, okay. You're down here. There we go. We want to move these down so that they're always at the bottom, which is actually going to be in the room data form. It doesn't have to be. It could live in the tile data widget. We have map state already. But we would need to know what we're resetting if we were to lift it up to here. I'm like 99% certain that I'm going to want it here. Hang on, let me just double check this. Yes, I know I'm live. This is the correct place for this widget to live. I'm like 99% sure. But the reset logic needs to... No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to change. We can call this. And because this will behave based on what this selected tile currently is, its type, we're good. Okay, awesome. So that can still stay. You're in expanded, you're in the column. That's all perfectly Gucci. I need this to be an 8 instead. Because down here, I'm going to have another 1. 1L, please. Which would give me something like this, right? Okay, perfect. Love that. We're going to put you into a container here. Like so, because we're going to do the top is a border side, width is the border width, color is the border color. I need this to not just be a text though. Does a center get it to, oops, forgot to do that. That'll make it expand across. That's looking not bad at all. Okay. It's going to need to be, actually in real life, a row. But that's fine. And then that scrolls and that stays. So let's actually just do that. Chuck that in. And then we'll do in here a center Basically puts us back exactly where we were, but meow. Let's just scoot that over just because. Meow, we can pull this. Instead of you, we put you in. There's our apply button. There's our delete forever button. And I missed my refresh, which should have been the first one. That's okay. You can live here. No, we don't need to underscore you because you're not a class variable. We don't need this anymore. Oh, that's right. We put you in a sized box so that you were the same size. I remember this now. Otherwise, things get wonky. Okay. And then here we had spacing of 10. We're going to duplicate that. So everybody looks the same. Now, I could do... Do I want to put my unsaved changes warning down here? Or... I could do something like... Inside of here... Maybe a sized box. Let's just say a height of 10. Okay, that would put it there. We need to be taller. I don't know if this is actually going to change much. It will. It'll scoot it down a little bit, which is good. And then you stay there. Okay. This will then need... How do we want to track this? Is it programming? It is. Let's see. Because we want to track in here, part of why we want to lift this state up is if we apply a change to the map, we want to display a warning that there is an unsaved change to the map file itself. But this state over here is just for the in-memory data. Have you made changes to this room's configuration that have not been committed or applied to the in-memory map, right? I guess we can just do something like, let's organize this a little bit. Building an editor for a multi-user dungeon game. Yes, yes, indeed. So here we could just do something like, like unsaved tile changes. And then in here, we've just cleared them, so we need to make sure that we set it. What are you mad about? Oh, you must be initialized. That's fine. There. Notify listeners is kind of the key here. So then this can be map state. Ooh, I need to make that not export or not private. Because I need to be able to reach in and grab that fella. Let's put you up here, actually. Just for visual organization. So if unsaved tile changes is true, this appears, otherwise just nothing. Like so. Okay, so that hides that. But, okay, so if I go to room data just as a test here, we can get rid of this whole row now. That's fine and dandy. I don't think I need this anymore either. Okay, love that. When we change stuff in here, such as a description, on changed, if map state dot unsaved tile changes, or rather if not, then I do set that to true. This that and everything else is read only right now, so that should be fine. Okay. So if I come in here, wah wah wah, unsaved changes comes up, but then we have a wiggly UI. And I don't like a wiggly UI. If we move... If this is a container instead, and it just always exists here, oops, that, and we put that, then we have this, but it scrolls under. Can I set transparency on? I need docs. Tell me of your ways, Flutter. Make container transparent. Opacity. Okay. Okay. Animated opacity. Okay. Is more efficient, it says. But it also says this is expensive. Maybe it's fine. Do. So it's like 0 from 0 to 1. So what we can do you if there are unsaved changes 1.0 otherwise 0.0 duration. What is the duration? It's just it is a duration. I don't know, 1 second. Let's just see how she feels. And then this can probably go back to being a sized box. It shouldn't matter. All right, so let's rebuild to make sure that takes effect. Boop. That's not what I expected. Ah. It's because I would need to do a stack here. It's because my list scroll goes under it. It just looks like it's just like an optical illusion, basically. Which might be okay. Oh, I can't do a double. I just want you to be snappy. That's all right. But, okay, I would need to do this. No. I need to stack you with you. Can I do that? I don't think I can put an expanded there. I would have to stack opacity and the single child scroll view, I think. Stack. Stack. Tell me of your ways, Flutter. Children list, okay. I think it will be okay. So in here, stack children widget list, scroll view, close that, close the stack. Then y'all, one too many, can go up there. Oop, nope, wrong place. Go up there. And that gives me, oh, I think I'm okay with that. As long as sized box has, you need to become a container again though, because color, theme of context, color scheme, let's call you error container. I don't think that's actually correct, but then you need a text style which has a color, which is of context color scheme dot on error container, like so the things become readable. You are not quite fully opaque. And I also don't quite want it to be that. The question becomes, is that opacity part of the color? No. Fix one thing at a time here. What if we flipped? Well, I don't like that so much either. On error? Or just error? I think that was the other one that was a little bit more no? Error. Here we go. There. That's a little bit less red. And then this can be on error. That's all right. As long as we can get more opacity. Hang on. Just for the sake of science here, if I do that, it's not the opacity. At least not the one I added. Do you have set container height, Z height? Is that a thing in Flutter? I think it is. Z index, that's what it is. Bum 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 bum. Nope, that's am I overlooking you? I think so. Tell me of your ways. Stack, children, column. Container has a height. It does have a height. Did I just completely... Wait. Height is the height, not the... Silly me. Or do you add the widgets to the array defines which one is on top of others or below? Somebody says clip behavior, clip none. I should probably double check exactly they're asking. Image is getting ahead and how to bring it to the top. It's not really my problem. I bet you it is the clip behavior. That sounds sane to me. Except for it should default to hard edge. So why are you showing through then? And this, yeah. Okay. There is with opacity, but that's deprecated. With values. It didn't change anything, but I can't say that I'm terribly surprised by that. Because it should be... Hmm. Maybe, okay, so the order inside here is supposed to change the Z order, basically, the Z index. What if I just flip-flopped ya? Ah, okay. It's backwards. Okay. Fine. Be that way. That was a little bit of a herky-jerky. Okay, that's better. It's fixed. Okay. And that'll give us our, like, always present indicator, which I'm good with. I like that. All right. We need to also do the same thing. You're no longer used in here. Totally okay with that. Which means that this container can also go away. And then we just have that. We want you to be a little bit less squooshed. Let's just put our sized box back in 30. Sure, why not? Just to give it a little bit of a bump down so it's distinct. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm feeling good about it. Tile data meow is going to need... not tile data, connection data is the word I'm looking for. Connection data is going to need to do a similar thing. We've got everything there. Ooh, I need to make sure... Okay, I do dispose in you. Okay, perfect. We do want to do this. We'll come back to that in a second as we kind of just hammer these out a little bit. We do need to delete still. That'll be in the state. That's what it's going to be now. We're going to let you continue to exist as such. The... change. That's what we needed. You. We need the same stuff we just did here. It's going to look exactly the same, except map state isn't underscored because it's just within the build function. So exit description, exit message on changed looks the same. Same. Gotta go. Thanks for the show. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Have yourself a great night. Destination orders, that's all read only. So there we go. All right. So it why did it do that? Why did it decide to highlight everything all of a sudden? It's bizarre. Enter message. Is it because of that? Am I doing that wrong? No? My other things don't do that, right? No, they... What? What are you doing here? Am I forgetting something I needed to turn off? Why? Let's see here. Okay, hang on. I'm getting sidetracked here. So. Is it because of this getting triggered? I have questions. I know I'm getting sidetracked immediately after I said, hang on, let me stop getting sidetracked, but it just occurred to me that that could be a thing. So, bop, and then I come in here. No, it still does it. Okay. That's not good, but it's good because that would have been a weird one. So, before I get sidetracked and start chasing this down, we're going to say bring tile edited state up into writer as well. Put warning text at top of tile data section. Yeah. Okay. Let's chase this down real quick here. I don't think this happens in other text form fields. Like, let's say this one. It does not. Does this have something to do, perhaps, with having this being set in... Build? Shouldn't. Well, you're not even set in build over here. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. What if we guarded you like so? Let's just do the one for the sake of sanity. Uh-oh. That worked. If I roll it back. Well, now it's behaving. Okay. Hang on. Let's make sure nothing's getting cached or anything. Okay. That broke it again. I should really just do it up here. Okay. So. Let's make sure we have everything clean, rebuilt. It behaved. And if we put you back, it's because when it changes, is it what are you? What are your properties? Should only be set between frames in response to user actions, not during the build. Okay, yeah, we shouldn't do you here. That's going to be slightly problematic. Because I need to get that in there, but I need to have my state first. So we could try going back to was it that? No. What the heck were you called? Was it dependencies? Okay, yeah. Okay, super that. These would both need to get lifted again. Oh, you're gonna make me do this? Oh, you jerk. Okay. That's fine. Needs to come up here anyway. Do. Like so. All of y'all need to be underscored. Okay. Now, yes, has not been initialized. Make 100% sure. Boop. Okay, that's fine now. And that all should be fine. And then our... Nope. Do you do that again? How about that instead? I thought I was close here. I thought I was closer. Ah. Called before, right. Okay, I remember that now. That's why we were moving it out of there. And put that back to that. What does the internet say? Hmm. Oh, you know what? So this... The example they've done it in a different order. But that still doesn't help. I don't think that matters either, yeah. But they also did name controller. They're doing the initialization. Text editing controller. Text is that. But that's going to be a problem up here. Guess we can add late. Should be fine. It's still gonna have this issue though. I don't think this is current, like their answer. I don't think it's this way anymore. Let's back that up. We're so close. It's slightly heartbreaking. Let's see if we can find a better. Make a check in the builder and the value. If the value in the state control matches, sync them. I guess I could do that. I don't think that works though, because. Well, yeah, I guess it would. It would. Because we write the value every time we change it. Hmm. People keep saying to use the did change dependencies. So, okay. Fair enough. We can do that. And it'll look like it's working correctly. Let's just make sure we get a nice clean build here. Or launch. But that still nukes that. Except for they're trying to drive this by... Oh. Oh, I see. Well, no, this is kind of close. So they're setting text to this basically. But there's no listen. There's no arguments anymore. Oh, they're doing a different... Okay. They're doing this. Like so. I think this is equivalent, though, is it not? Oop. Maybe. Let's just find out. If anything changes or not, it'll be a data point, right? Okay, that's still that, though. Okay. Let's put that back, because I'm pretty sure it's equivalent. But I think I remember reading about that. I could be just pulling it out of my butt, though. Let's see here. What I really just want to do think it was it actually just inline documentation that said, yeah, okay. Removes existing selection and composing range held by the controller. Resets the cursor position and composing state. Value setter to update the text value instead. So, value. Text editing value. If I switch to this, is that better? Maybe it's just a case of me not using the widget correctly. That'd be kind of cool. For the sake of, like, you know, an easy fix. Bum, 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 bum. We'll pick you. Why not? Nope. Urgh. Hmm. Okay. We're so close. We just need to solve this problem for both of them because this shouldn't be here. Once we got that, I think we're okay. But I like the way this is shaping up much, much more. But I think it's time for me to go to bed. I'm tired. But thank you to everybody who showed up to hang out. It was good to see you. It's good to meet some of you. If you like this kind of thing, I do it for 4 days a week for roughly 2-ish hours a night, starting on Friday and ending on Monday. So if you come back here tomorrow at about 8 Central, I should be here beating my head against this part right here and hopefully solving it. And I'd love to see you. And if not, you guys have yourselves a great week anyway, and I'll catch you some other time.